Hey guys, welcome to my corner of the internet. Today we're doing a get ready with me and I'm going to be answering all the questions that I get asked a lot on trips and stuff, and we'll be calling it the raw truth about being a flight attendant. So to have all my questions written down and we're going to start getting ready. So the biggest question that I get is what's the difference between a mainliner and regional airlines. So mainliner is what I work for, which is like a big company like Cathay Air, Asiana Air, Lufthansa, Korea Air, Emirates, Delta, United. Like those are the bigger mainliners. And then if you work for a regional airline, you work for like SkyWest or Air Wisconsin, stuff like that, and they do longer, I wouldn't say longer days, but it feels like they have longer days because they have like more flights, but that's because they do like the shorter stops. Like they don't go to the big major airports, they go to more of the smaller airports. So like an example, a lot of our express planes go to Colorado Springs, but a couple flights a day will go, like the bigger airplanes will go to Colorado Springs, but normally it's the smaller regional planes that'll work those smaller flights. So I just put primer and then just like a powder over it to set my primer. Not really sure what kind of look I'll be doing, but we'll find out. And another big question that I get is, what is commuting and what's it like? Commuting is when you don't live where you are based. Every airline has different bases depending on their needs. My airline, I got lucky and I got the base where I live and where I'm from, and that's kind of why I picked the airline that I chose. Was I looked, because I knew I looked around where their bases were and hubs and stuff were, so I knew I didn't want to like live in Detroit or anything like that, because I know I believe it's American Airlines that has a base there, and I knew I didn't want to live there. But my cousin works for American Airlines, and she's worked for American Airlines for a really long time, and she loves it, so there's nothing against it. And there's nothing against Detroit. I've been there, and I've had a lot of fun there, so nothing against people from Detroit, so don't come at me, people. But anyways, so it's like when you don't live where you are based, and then you will basically take flights in like either the day before or the day of before your trips. And I know a lot of people who do it actually. To me, I wouldn't do it just because it's so stressful. Everyone tells me it's like having a second job, but again, it's like, how important is it for you to live where you live? Like, are you truly committed to living where you live? I was going to commute if I didn't get the base that I got, and that's just because I have a child. And so yeah, but I'm sure if I was younger and I was single, no way in hell I would have picked the base that I chose, because the flying's really boring where I'm based at. But I love my base, I love the people at my base and stuff like that. So that's kind of the thing, is when you are just kind of commuting into where you work, and most people will do it the day before or the day of, depending on what time their trip starts. And I know a lot of people on reserve, they commute in the day before and they sleep in the crew room, or they have a crash pad. So that's that. And I mean, I have a friend who commutes from one of the harder bases. She commutes to San Fran from Seattle, and we used to have a base in Seattle, and it's like the people who are who live in Seattle and are based in San Fran are very senior to us. Like, we don't have that much seniority, in all honesty. And she honestly hasn't had an issue commuting in, and I know she has, like, she told me she has a crash pad. So she has a crash pad. She jump seats a lot, so she never gets to, like, sit out where the passengers do, but she gets to work just fine. Sorry, now I don't remember where I was. So I guess commuting in a nutshell, it's like a second job. It's a lot of work because you're constantly watching flights, like, and you're watching loads, and you're trying to see if which flights that you can get on to get home after like a 4-day trip or a 3-day trip. So I personally wouldn't commute unless I really truly had to. It's so stressful. So, but the nice part about commuting as a flight attendant is we can use other airlines if our airlines are full. Enough with the commuting. What does a trip look like? A trip, normally, it depends on what kind of trip you get, or if like a trip falls apart. Like if you're on reserve, you normally get trips that fall apart, and that's kind of what you get. Or you'll get a trip where someone calls out sick, which is a line holder. And those trips are really fun. Like I had a 3-day trip just recently, but I had 30 hours in Omaha. So I had a 3-leg to Omaha, which was just like the longest day ever. And then I had 30 hours in Omaha, Nebraska. And then I had 3 legs back. Like, that was a line holder's actual trip, but I think they got sick or something from what the crew told me. So that's kind of what a trip could look like. Or you can get a full 3-day trip where you're flying all 3 days and your layovers are only like 12 hours long. And those are tough because you get so tired. So there's that. Another question I get a lot is, what do I do on my layovers? It honestly depends. If I'm flying with a younger crew and they want to go do things, like I had a 30-hour in Seattle, which is unheard of. Normally when I go to Seattle, we get like the quick 12-hour layovers. Anyways, I got lucky and I got a 30-hour in Seattle, Washington, just to specify. And my crew was young, so we all went out and we like went to the market and went to go eat and hung out. We went shopping, so that was a lot of fun. So it really depends. But when I was in Omaha, the crew didn't want to do anything, which was understandable because I didn't really feel like doing anything either. So I Googled a small little coffee shop, small like little hipster coffee shop, and took my book, read, I walked there, and I had a good time. It was a nice little time. But yeah, that's what trips can look like. But a trip can be one day where it's like a churn, so like from Denver to LA, LA back to Denver. It could be something like that, or it could be a 2-day, 3-day, and then a trip can go up to 4 days. 4 days are hard, honestly. I prefer 3 days because it's like the perfect amount of time to be gone, for me at least. And then I'm like ready to be back home and bother everybody. Next question. What is reserve? Reserve is when you first start flying and you have no seniority and you are property of whatever airline you work for. It's great, let me tell ya. So it depends on your bidding schedule. Like, you still get to bid on a schedule. I'm really good at trading days, so I normally get the schedule that I want, and I normally bid for this day, like the schedule where I'm on for 6 days, off for a day or two, on for 6 days, on for a day or two, and then like the last week of the month I have like 6 days off. Like, I have like a stretch of days off. And every airline is different, every contract is different, so ours is like 6 and 1. I think it's an FAR actually, that you can only be good for 6 days, fly 35 hours in the 6 days. Anyways, so that's a thing that I bid for because I prefer having that long period of time off. But on the days that you're good, which means it's a day that you could be flying, you can either get airport standby or airport alert, which is my favorite time of day. You go to the airport and you literally sit there for 4 hours, and if a trip comes up, crew scheduling will call you and put you on a trip. Or you can go pre-board trips, which is even better, because you do all the hard work and then the crew gets there and they're like, okay, get off, you did all the hard work, bye. Being sarcastic, I hate standby. I hate airport alert. Or you can get a trip the night before. It depends on, again, your airline. Like my airline, we get trips at 7:30, so we'll know if we're on airport standby, if we got a trip, or we're on ready reserve, which just means we're on call for 24 hours for however many days. So let's say at 7:30 I didn't get anything. That means I'm on ready reserve, which means that they can call me from 7:30 to whenever, and then if I don't get assigned something again the next day at 7:30, I'm still on it, ready reserve, which sucks because it like really messes with your sleep cycle. But what I tell people when I first started flying was like, just stick to your normal schedule, just stick to your normal schedule. So whatever time you wake up and go throughout your day and pack your rollerboard with you, or you're gonna sit around and do nothing for days. And I would take naps in between. Like summer flying, I have to take a nap in between because there's such a high chance you're gonna get a red eye, and red eyes are so hard, especially if you've been up all night. But yeah, that is reserve. How long is training? Training, it depends on your airline, and it tells you on the website, like depending on like where you're. Sorry, I apparently can't tight line and do my eyeliner, or tight line and talk. But it depends on which airline that you're flying for. It can go from 4 to 7 weeks. Mine was 6.5, technically 7 weeks. I have a video coming up about training, so wait for that. Okay, I can't talk and do my eyeliner. Alright. Eyes. Done. Anyways, so I already have skincare on. I wear sunscreen every single day, regardless if I wear makeup or not. So, just gonna put that on. Anyways, another question is, do I travel a lot, even though I travel for work? Not as much as a lot of my flight attendant friends do, because I fly for work. When I don't have to be on an airplane, I normally don't want to be on an airplane, but I do go out to LA quite often. Fun fact, I used to live in California for about 2 years, and I have 2 best friends that live in LA, in Orange County, so I try to go see them as much as I can. Ideally, it would be every other month, but it kind of breaks down to like it being every 3 months. But yeah, a lot of people ask like, how do buddy passes and stuff like that work? It depends on your airline. It depends on where you're going. Like with my airline, I have an enrolled friend. My daughter and my parents fly priority to buddy passes, and then I believe I get like 12 buddy passes for the year. But they're not free flights like how everybody thinks that they are. They're like, you still have to pay for them. And sometimes you have to pay a lot for them. So I'm like, are buddy passes even worth it? So I got rid of my buddy passes, and I have 2 enrolled friends. One is my brother, one is another friend. I'm not going to say who, because if somebody sees this and wanted to be my enrolled friend. But yeah, I chose a friend that like travels a lot anyway, so I was just like, and flies through my airline. It just kind of made sense. I was like, well, you fly just as much as I do, so you might as well just, yeah. That was kind of a rant from the first question. My favorite place to go, besides LA, obviously, when I'm flying, I love going to Canada. I love Canada. Like, for everybody who talks smack about Canada, if you've never been to Canada, I don't want to hear it. I look like I'm going to war. Anyways, if you've never been to Canada, shh, I love Vancouver. The dream would be to live in Vancouver, but it's so expensive. I joke around and say I'm going to marry a Canadian so that I can live there and like become a Canadian citizen. I would so give up my US citizenship to be a Canadian. Like, yeah. But anyways, I've been to Vancouver a few times now. I love it. Like, it's just one of those cities that like captured my heart. And younger, I would have laughed at you if you told me that I was gonna go to Canada or I wanted to move to Canada, because I don't know, I just never thought I would want to move anywhere besides where I am now. But now that I'm older. I've also been to Calgary. So Vancouver's like right above, is it Washington? Yeah, I think it's above Washington. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Geography was never really my thing. Yeah, but it's like Vancouver's over on the west side of the coast. Calgary's like right in the middle of our country. I shouldn't say our country. It's right above like the United States, like in the center of the States. And I loved it. I had a long layover there for Mother's Day. I actually got a trip out there on Ready Reserve. Again, the crew was older, so I just kind of hung out by myself, which I was totally fine with. Went and got some coffee, walked by the river, stuff like that. I don't know why I'm still beating my face with this. Like, my concealer's blended, bitch. I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation today, so I'm just going to wear a powder foundation. And this is my favorite powder foundation in the whole world. It's the Chanel one. It's so expensive. Well, I don't feel like it's that expensive compared to like foundation prices now, you know? I mean, I haven't found a drugstore foundation that's as good as this, but if you want to be a little bougie and have some bomb looking skin, wear some of the Chanel. I wear it in a 6.5. Been wearing this powder foundation for years. Oh. What do I fly with? Like, what's in my roller bag? Clothes. Just kidding. I have a video coming up for it because I get this question a lot and everybody's like, how do you fit all this crap in there? Less is more for me. In all honesty, I used to carry so many uniforms and I'm like, why are you carrying so many uniforms? Because in all honesty, the only uniform that you really wear is the dress. So I was like, why am I carrying 2 or 3 uniforms? Like, I'm not even that messy. Like, I don't get dirty on the planes. I mean, I've spilled stuff on myself on the planes. Who hasn't? It is what it is. But yeah, I am going to film a video of like what I carry, just because it's like everyone and their mom wants to know. And I get this question from like newbie flight attendants too. But in a nutshell, I always have sweats with me because that's what I sleep in, and like a comfortable shirt. I have my toiletries, and because my skin changes so much when I am on a plane opposed to like not flying, my skincare regimen that I do carry when I'm flying is different from what I have at home. My toiletries and clothes, I have my Vans slides, because that kind of goes with like jeans or like a t-shirt dress that I carry. I think that's about it. I think that's about it. Obviously, I carry my makeup. In that video, I'll show you what I fly with, makeup-wise. You know? I don't know what's so interesting about what I fly with, because I don't get like the really cool international trips. Like if I was based in Dulles, my classmates, but they have to cover 3 airports. I am not covering 3 airports. Like, you're nuts. That's just too many airports. And then if you get a phone call at 3 hours and you get like, you don't have the DC airport, I think it's Baltimore is the other one, BWI. Yeah, I think that's a Baltimore airport. Then you're like shit out of luck. And then East Coast traffic, from what I heard, is nuts. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in East Coast traffic. But I know that when I am in Jersey, and I'm on the shuttle to the airport, I'm buckling up my seatbelt because, no offense, guys, but you people in Jersey or the East Coast, y'all drive nuts. And it's not even just Jersey, I should say, because I know a lot of New Yorkers, and I had a friend who lived in New York who said like he took his car to New York City and he would never do that again because it came back with all these dents and stuff, and he's like, good thing I didn't have a nice car at that time. But just as a safe reminder, you should always wear your seatbelt when you're going from like the airport to your hotel or your destination. But in all honesty, I'm so bad about it, like when it comes to the shuttles, because some of the shuttles are like, the seats are weird and then you're trying to find the seatbelts and it's really weird. And anyways, I always wear my seatbelt when I'm in Houston, Texas. After my experience at training with this one Uber driver lady, and I think that like experience was like when I first got to Houston with my roommate, and in all honesty, it was so crazy. And I think I still talk about her because it was just so nuts. And it was, excuse my hair, I'm going to go do it. Oh yeah, wait, so back to my question. So always wear your seatbelt in Houston, LA, Newark, Dulles, which is Washington, D.C. Seattle, sometimes, it depends on the driver, but it depends on any city. But again, always wear your seatbelt. And I'm gonna go do my hair off camera because I think I'm done. Oh wait, no, I gotta do my lips. I put chapstick on, lip balm, whatever, before I started filming because I live in Colorado and my lips are so ashy, like they're so dry, like there's nothing helping it. But well, yeah, I still fly with matte lipsticks, so here I am. This is my life. Alright, so I think this is the look that I'm gonna settle with. Oh wait, I forgot to put pomade in my eyebrows. Okay, so I don't fill in my eyebrows every day. Like, drawing in my eyebrows every day, it's just such a stressful time. And I do have my eyebrows powdered in, but I don't have a lot of eyebrow hair, so that happened. And then one eyebrow fades faster than the other eyebrow, so that happened again. Ah! I don't know what that was. I just really fucked shit up on my eyebrow. Alright, now my eyebrows are there. I'm gonna go do my hair and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Woo! My hair's clean. I washed it last night and I just styled it today and holy cow, I have so much volume. Anyways, to my last question is, do I like it? I do like it. I love being a flight attendant. I love the perks of it. I love how flexible it is with my schedule, and I kind of can make it to what I want. Obviously, there are downsides. There's a union because, how would I explain it? Because we're such a big company, we have a union to protect our rights and stuff like that. I forgot to put on highlight, you guys. Anyways, oh, Minnie brought cups in. How cute. But all in all, yeah, I really enjoy flying. Let's see. It seems like it is all fun and games, and it can be. I mean, we're there for safety, and how often are you really like evacing planes and stuff like that? Like very rarely, right? And it's one of those things that you kind of hope that you'll never have to do. So, it can be very lonely. Like, I'm by myself a lot, but I don't mind being by myself, especially after like a 3-leg day and I've been around people all day. Like, that doesn't bother me. I'm actually okay with that. But and if you're one of those people that you don't like to be alone, trust me, after being on an airplane with like 500 people, okay, it's like 300 people, and people are taking from you constantly, trust me, by the time you get to your layover, you're ready to just like unwind and be by yourself. But you make this job whatever you want it to be. Like, it can be fun, you could hate it, it's all on your perspective. But you just, again, have to be positive at everything you do and have a passion for everything that you do. I can't see myself getting like a normal desk job ever again. Wait, let me rephrase that. I've never really had a normal desk job, so I shouldn't say that. But I couldn't imagine going back into like having a normal job, like a normal Monday through Friday or like a Tuesday through Saturday job, and just being stuck here. Because there are times when I haven't flown for like a week and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so ready to get out of here. Like, I need to get on a plane and I need to get out of here and I need a break and I need to breathe and I need to feel better. So that's something to consider. If you get homesick really easily, don't become a flight attendant. That's ridiculous. And if you're scared of flying, why? Like, these are just like random things that like people come and talk to me about. I'm like, if you're scared of flying, then why do you want to be on planes for a living? Because you're on planes for like 100 hours a month. It could be up to 100 hours a month or even more. Like, I met a flight attendant who flies like 150 hours a month, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot. I'm good with like 80 to 100. Like, in the summer, I don't mind flying like the 100 hours when I'm good. That I really don't mind. But it's also nice like when this flying slows down and I get to be home and do things that I want to do. But anyways, yeah, I do enjoy being a flight attendant, and I do like the company that I work for. There's just all of those things that you should consider, because you're changing your life to be a flight attendant, and I think people tend to forget that. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. I'll see you later. Bye.